They want to have a place at the table. And the reason why is that, one, corporate, the government at age 18, as well as when they receive a position, they give them the ability to have an argument at the table. But the church has a tendency to say they're not grounded enough to be able to put forth their voices. And
you were 6 months into this and thrown into a role, and look at where you're at.
Exactly right.
But now we're, a couple of generations down the road, and these millennials are we're, the older generation is saying you're not quite ready yet.
They're sidelined.
And they're holding off.
And so
that makes sense.
Because of that, they're leaving the church.
Yeah.
And they're giving themselves over to stuff that is not kingdom-minded. So that was the greatest takeaway, that they wanted to be involved. And two, they're not asking for money. They feel, my research pointed out that they feel that they're willing to invest in their own development, but they, especially in the church, they're not asking for, they do it voluntarily, but give me the opportunity to get at the table. The other thing that they're asking for is to mentor up. I guess you understand that term, in that sometimes we have a tendency to want to mentor them and to coach them without asking their permission. So they're saying to us, give me the opportunity to mentor you so I can actually come into your space. So we have to just treat them as children, quote unquote, like a little child. Let them tell you what they know, not being disrespectful. So they feel like as though they're actually at the table. The Lord did it by bringing in David and all of these new guys, young guys.
I love your thought process on that, because I feel like that, Dr. John Townsend talks, a psychologist, talks about relational nutrients. And he, in his book, People Fuel, he talks about the 21 relational nutrients that he has identified. Well, in my opinion, in my experience, the number one relational need of any individual on a team or in a church and an environment is acceptance.
Yes.
They want a seat at the table. They want acceptance, and they want to feel valued and affirmed in what they're doing. And you know what I have found? Every one of us, me as a little above the millennials, it doesn't matter the age.
It doesn't.
Every one of us want that acceptance, that affirmation, that validation. And it's hard to say, as a leader, as a pastor, as an executive coach, it's hard for me to say, hey, I need acceptance. I need a seat at the table. I need affirmation, validation, but that is the truth. We desperately need that on a team.
It is so important, I've learned that adults are just overgrown babies.
That's right.
It is. The more you tell them that you love them, the more you tell your wife you love her, right? The more she's going to kiss you on your forehead. She's going to find all the pinkies, is there any other cut that I can, So you validate people and you get out of them everything.
Yeah.
In recognition. Go ahead.
But, I just want to point out that you have found in your research that millennials, that during that generation, whatever the cause was, the leaders of the millennials were not accepting them, were not affirming them and validating them, bringing them into the table and using them in the way that they desired. So before we continue on with the podcast, this episode is brought to you by Christian Leader Community Coaching. Are you a Christian leader who is overwhelmed by the complexity of trying to figure out how to grow your team? I want to introduce to you our Christian Leader Community Coaching Program. We have an easy-to-use online platform that has a full archive of courses, supportive community, live group coaching, and elements that are customizable specifically for your team. And I've personally seen the quick and enormous impact that it can have on a team of leaders who are focused together on learning and mastering the skills needed to grow their leadership effectiveness and enjoyment. And we want to be a part of that with you. We want to help you create and implement a plan. The community is very much affordable, but I would say that you can't afford not to have focused growth within your team. Your results heavily depend on it. So don't wait any longer. Let's do this together. Go to ryanfranklin.org and join Christian Leader Community Coaching today. I look forward to seeing you and your team inside the community. And now, back to our podcast. That's pretty powerful.
A matter of fact, I'm not going to go into them, and I'm going to identify, because I was asked to speak at the symposium last year at Urshan Symposium. Mm-hmm. And I shared this with them, and I found, from my study, 9 critical themes. Incidentally, as I told you, I did a quantitative analysis. And it was just too much to do a mix, but I asked them for one question. And my professor was like, no, I can't. I said, please, they gave me one question to ask. And this one question gendered almost all the information that I needed. And the question was, if you could tell me what could keep, or what is keeping you, or what is pushing you away from the church, just tell me openly what it is. And the categories of 147 responses of Apostolic Millennials across the United Pentecostal Church, across the area, came up with engage me. I want to be meaningfully engaged. They want that expression of love, grace, intimacy with God. They want community and social events. They want to be able to get into the community, and they're not asking for money. Sensitivity, mentorship, and counseling. Authenticity. They spot a fake from a distance. Involvement in ministry. Involve me. Get to know me. They are longing for relationships. And yes, they want systematic biblical theology. They are not happy with the fact that they are learned and their leaders are not. So I would encourage every leader, if it's even to get a certificate beside your name, it's not that we are pushing education over it, but the people that you are trying to reach, if they don't see that you're educated enough, they're going to go to somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't want to move too far past what you just said prior to the education piece without, I had no idea that you were going to go there with it. But
let's flow
with that question. It is so true. And you know what? This is biblical.
Biblical.
The Lord designed us to need one another.
Exactly.
He designed us to crave love, to need grace, to need relationship. And in my mind, this is the very things, what you're speaking of are the very things that from A to Z, age-wise, that we desperately need. It's why I created the Christian Leader Community Coaching program that I have online, to teach people to reduce the barriers, to get people in an environment of grace and truth, and to be able to engage in that way. But I love the fact that your research even has brought you to the place of seeing that people just want, they're saying engage me.
Yes.
They want the love, grace, social events, relationships. I love it.
And listen, just by what we're doing right now, we start speaking about it. What happened? We are not frowning. Our faces go into this joy, this happiness. That is exactly what our millennials are saying. We're happy. Yeah. They told us, I'm happy being an apostolic. So for those people who believe that apostolics are not happy people, it's crazy. The young people are saying, we're happy with our church. But these are the areas that we need you to work on. So you really want them to get them even more happier and to smile more, get them involved in the process. Get them involved.
Absolutely.
That is where the flow starts, actually.
Well, let's talk about this flow just a little bit deeper.
Yes.
And I want to bring out a couple of things in your book and us talk about it. And We may run out of time, and we may have to stop at some point. But
that's fine. We can do part 2.
we can do a part 2. But you wrote in your book, "Flow is the place of your divine assignment, and the sweet spot of your anointing." That's a pretty powerful statement. I want you to unpack that with us for a little bit.
Oh, I had to make some notes on that because it really affected me. Let's just go down there for a minute. I don't want to.
When you say that, when you talk about place of your divine assignment, when you talk about sweet spot of your anointing, I hear calling. Like you're in the flow of your calling.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're thinking here?
Exactly right. I made some notes because there's just so much loaded in this book here.
Yeah. There really is. It's a small book. It's not it's easy to read, and I just want to say this, thank you for how well it is written. It's not scholarly, like you can understand it very easily. It's simple, yet it's deep. And I know that's
very
opposite words, but it's simple and it's deep and it's well written. You did a fantastic job of writing this book. So anyway.
Thank you so much. We have to look at it from the vantage point of what is my motivation behind what I do. Mm-hmm. And if you get it from that vantage point, then it becomes easy. So flow is the place of your divine assignment and that sweet spot, as you mentioned. And it's not just about performing. It's about placement. It is where your purpose, your spiritual gift and God timing interacts in the real time. And so what I mean by that is Csikszentmihalyi, he was the psychologist that actually talked about flow, psychological flow.